Hey guys, Yocom here. Whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you're indifferent, Pokemon Gen 5 Black and White brought so much to the Pokemon world at its time. For me, getting Pokemon White was the first time that I had to actually coordinate which version of Pokemon that I got. Up until that point, I didn't have any close friends where I would get one version, they would get the other version, we can trade Pokemon that we can't get, or we can trade to get the trade evolutions. But for Gen 5, I actually had a close friend who I wanted to coordinate with so that way we got the most out of the game. And that friend was the same guy from Pokemon Gen 4 in the video right here. The way that Gen 5 really pushed the boundaries of the graphics was so different to even the way that they had pushed the limits in Gen 4. It was the same hardware, but they had found new ways to do even more. When you've got the town that's modeled after New York, or you have the cool bridge scenes where the camera will change, like that was something that we never saw in a Pokemon game before. It was always the same kind of top-down view. In each game, they kind of change it up a little bit, but not nearly as drastically as they did with the graphics in Gen 5, especially with that main city. The disappointment of Samurott. So I followed my usual rule with always choosing the water starter first. When I saw Oshawott, he was so cute. I knew that I wanted him a part of my team, not just because he was the water starter, but frankly, he was the cutest out of all of them. When he evolved into Dewott, I was even more excited because he looked like a more grown-up kind of teenage version of Oshawott. So I could only imagine what he would turn into in his final stage. Now, don't get me wrong, he carried my team through a lot of the game, really strong. I really liked him, using him, but more it was the design choices that they made for Samurott. Why would they take a bipedal Pokemon and put him on all fours? And then that whole head, shell, crown, unicorn, narwhal thing. He was kind of like a dog, wolf, sea otter, narwhal. It didn't make any sense to me. When I saw Tepig's final evolution, it was the first time that I actually thought it would have been better off picking the fire starter as opposed to the water starter. Nonetheless, I grew to appreciate Samurott for what he was and what he brought to the game, you know, with his strengths and his weaknesses. I was just so disappointed with the design choices that they picked. You know, the difficulty level of Gen 5 was really surprising to me. With the first 4 gens, I never really had much of a problem going through the game. Yeah, there'd be like the little hiccups here and there, but with Gen 5, it was almost as if every gym leader was a Whitney to me. I don't know if it was just I was low leveled, or if it was the type matchups, I didn't have the right types in my team. But it got to the point where I really just had to sit there and grind and rely on brute force just to get through. And so Gen 5 really posed a bigger threat to me that I had not experienced in the first 4 generations. And I welcomed it so much. It was so nice to play a Pokemon game that really posed a challenge to me as I got older. You know, when you're a kid and you're playing Pokemon for the first time, yeah, that game's really challenging, but as you grow up with the series, the games become less and less difficult as you figure out the mechanics and they become a little predictable here and there. And so Gen 5 was a really nice surprise in its difficulty. A lot of people hated Gen 5 for this reason, but I welcomed it and loved it. And that was the fact that it was kind of like a pseudo restart for the series. You know, the routes had restarted from Route 1. There were no older Pokemon in these games. That didn't come until Black 2 and White 2. There were the Pokemon that were really just remakes of the original 151. You know, we had the remakes of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, you know, Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. I mean, Sock and Throw. We had the Geodude remakes, you know, the little rock speaker. I mean, Roggenrola. In the way that through trading, he would eventually evolve into Chromastone from Ben 10. I mean, Gigalith. Slightly less cool Pidgey, and very much less cool Pidgeot. We had Flying Pikachu. Even though a lot of people hated the, Pokemon remakes, I welcomed each and every design. It was so incredible that I wasn't just faced with 50 new Pokemon. I was faced with a whole roster of over 151 brand new Pokemon for the game. And there you have it, guys. Let me know down in the comments below whether you loved or hated Pokemon Black and White and what you loved and hated about those games. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. And if you didn't, leave the other option alone. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't and ring the bell so you stay notified on all of my future videos. Alrighty, guys. See you later.